Warning: the views and beliefs in the following program does not reflect the views of Boom Broadcasting. We give full creative control to our creators and do not believe in cancel culture. QuickHits has returned. Podcast Smitty is here. And remember, it is an orchestrated plan by the man. Viewer discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a stacked episode of QuickHits for you this week. It better be stacked, considering that I took 2 weeks off, but it was no vacation. So let me explain. About 2.5 weeks ago, Western North Carolina was hit with Hurricane Helene. Many people lost power, cell service. They had property damage. There were whole cities, counties that were affected by this storm. Me, along with Michael Davis and Carson Williams, are in that Western North Carolina area, and we were hit by the storms. Now, thankfully for me, thanks be to God, the only thing that my household lost was the internet. And then a big fear of mine happened. My basement flooded, but we got that all taken care of. We weren't without cell service very long in my area, but there were some that have been without power for days, maybe weeks, in that Western North Carolina area, that Buncombe County area, that Ashe County area, Watauga, and other places in Western North Carolina were hit with this storm, and there was a lot of property damage. We had whole cities that were feeling the effects. Western North Carolina is so pretty in the fall. So many people drive to Western North Carolina to see the scenery. A lot of that has been taken out. So this is the part where I go to you, the viewer, those out there watching this. If there's any way you can help Western North Carolina, whether it's sweat equity, whether it's funds, whether it's supplies for people, the weather is getting cold. We're getting into that fall and winter. There are people that are without. If you can help in any way, shape, or form, please do so. No donation is too small. Also in that Florida area where Hurricane Melvin helped, if you're in that area, make sure that you can help those people out there too, because, it's rough during this time. Hurricane season is a thing around this southeastern area. So this is something that has been expected, but when it happens, sometimes it's hard to track, it's hard to channel. So people are going to be feeling the effects. So if you feel the need to help, please do so. And then this past week, I had this whole show planned. Everything was happening at that time. All the sports was in full effect. We had some great stuff go on in the field of sports that week. And unfortunately, silly me tried to add that in one show. And it didn't happen because my technology, it crapped the bed. And I get why. Because I overworked it. I overworked myself. I wasn't able to do so. I didn't drop a show for 2 weeks. That's something that I did not plan on doing. But I will say this, I learned a lot from it. I know what to do. I know what not to do. So this week, this show is going to be a lot better. I've got some football. I've got some hockey. I've got some playoff baseball. I got the WNBA Finals. I have a sporting event that is near and dear to me that I'm going to be explaining later on in the show that I got to see. I'm thankful for all of that. So this is going to be better. This is me making up for lost time in late bloomer fashion. I'm going to make sure to do so today. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Get my theme music. Let's go ahead and let's go. Yeah.
Can't fall off. Now they holler he'll turn. Thinking I'ma sell out. Talking just to feel heard. I never listen. Although they say it's strictly.
Welcome to Quick Hits. I'm your host, Shannon Smith, a.k.a. Podcast Smitty. If you're new to the show, what's good? I'm Shannon. I've been a lifelong sports fan. I've evolved into a fan of sport. So if you like hot takes, analysis, a little bit of comic relief, this show is for you. One thing that I pride myself on in this show is covering as many bases as I can in all fields of sports because I enjoy it. This is what I've dreamed of doing, and I get a chance to do it right here for you and yours. So if you're new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel. We have a lot of great content creators that have a lot of great shows in the field of sports, some not in the field of sports. So we got a little bit of everything that you need. So come on back and enjoy it throughout the whole week. But if you're one of my quick hitting brothers and sisters, ouch, welcome back. Let's go ahead and begin the show. In the WNBA this year, there will be a new WNBA champion The Las Vegas Aces were taken out by the squad that is playing yet again in the WNBA Finals, the New York Liberty, so there will be no three-peat this year. The New York Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx will do battle for who will win the WNBA championship this year. It is looking like a solid matchup when we began it on paper. The New York Liberty were 32-8 this year in the regular season. The best squad this year, I would say in the regular season, they were the best squad. They went in and beat Atlanta, swept them, went and played the Las Vegas Aces, the revenge game, the revenge series, and they got their revenge beating them 4 out of 5 games to advance to the WNBA championship. Now, the Minnesota Lynx looked like they were running on fumes as they played all 5 games against the Connecticut Sun and rolled on in with a little bit of rest, going to take on the highly regarded and the favored New York Liberty. It looks like this could be the New York Liberty's year. Game 1 was played, and in the beginning, it looked like it was going to be an 18-point lead. The New York Liberty were able to mount up against the Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx cut it. But then with a 15-point lead, with 5 minutes left in the game, it looked like the New York Liberty were going to walk away with game 1 until the Lynx started playing some very coordinated team basketball, were able to sink their shots, were able to score. They got the game tied up with a bad foul. Sabrina Ionescu fouled Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams completed a 4-point play. Were able to get the game tied up. Were able to get the game where they were up 1, actually. Breanna Stewart, who's an 84% free throw shooter, goes to the line, is 1 of 2, and the game goes into overtime. As the game is being played, a very, very tough overtime game being played, the New York Liberty had a chance to tie up the game. Breanna Stewart answered back from the Nafisa Collier shot, where she did a wonderful dream shake, reminiscent of Akeem Olajuwon, was able to hit the shot. Breanna Stewart had an opportunity to tie the game, misses the layup. The Lynx steal the game in New York, winning by 4. Now, as I was watching this game and I was able to go back and look at it, I remember the words that Kelsey Plum said in last year's WNBA Finals, where she stated that the New York Liberty played like individuals. They resorted back to individual basketball when the game started getting chippy, when the chips were down. The WNBA Finals were at stake. They went back to individual basketball, and that's why the Las Vegas Aces won. In this game, to me, it looked like the New York Lynx just took the game away. The New York Liberty took their foot off the gas. The Lynx started to play very coordinated team basketball. They were mentally tough. They didn't back down. They were able to get the deficit cut. The New York Liberty were able to build on their deficit, but the Lynx once again just kept coming back. They just would not go. They would not go down without a fight. Nafisa Collier was showing why she had an argument for why she should have been MVP this year. In this game, she was the team leader. Courtney Williams stepped up, made very, very important shots. Sabrina Ionescu and Breanna Stewart were not able to shoot the ball well. Stewie had a chance to win the game twice, was unable to do so. And that's the reason why the Lynx were able to take the game. The New York Liberty were looking very, very stale in that overtime. They come out slow. They were not able to capitalize on big shots. They were not able to get there. The stars are supposed to come out for the WNBA. The stars in the finals, in any game, any series, any championship game, that's where your big stars come up. That's where they come up, and that did not happen with the New York Liberty. They lost the game. It was a stolen game. Am I ready to stop believing in the New York Liberty? I'm not. You got to be mentally tough in order to do this. They have some mentally tough players. Breanna Stewart was bought to the New York Liberty to get them a championship. This is the 6th time in franchise history the New York Liberty have went to the WNBA Finals, unable to capture it. I think this time around it will change. But the Lynx are going to play them very tough. The Lynx have been here before. They've been to the finals a record 7 times in the WNBA. They were champions last in 2017. They've got a deficit that they're looking at. So this is going to be interesting for both teams. Both of these teams are very strong. They're very evenly matched. The Lynx are a very good defensive squad. The New York Liberty has the star power. So this is going to be a fight. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be excellent. By the time this podcast drops, Game 2 will already have been played. I'll be analyzing Game 2 on the next episode. I'll be analyzing the WNBA next year. I'm looking forward to it. If you haven't watched the WNBA this year, you have robbed yourself of good basketball. There's some great players, and these ladies, if they get the notoriety, if they get the people behind them, if they get the attendance up, these girls will be making thousands of dollars. They'll be making millions of dollars. They should be already. But in this time around, the next season, I believe they will. They're upping the finals to 7 games this year. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to be having an expansion team coming in California. That's going to be fun to watch. I'm going to be getting a WNBA hoodie. I'm going to be ready for next year. I'm going to be covering this again next year. I'm glad that this is going well for the ladies. Let this league continue to build. Let these ladies cook. And that is your WNBA Quick Hits for this week. What I love about October is the fact that we've got a lot of sports jammed in that 1 month. One of the sports that is jammed in October that I enjoy a lot is the NHL. We got professional hockey back in the fold. I'm looking forward to it. This year is going to be fun. I know we're into about a week and a half of hockey. By the time this podcast drops, we'll have a week and a half of hockey under our belts. And it's been a fun week and a half because I've caught a few games. I was able to catch some this past weekend. I'm loving what I see right now, but there's going to be some highlights in this season. We're not too in the thick of the season to not look at what we're going to be seeing throughout the year. So with this week and a half of hockey already done, here's some highlights that I'm looking forward to cover and looking forward to seeing out of the NHL in the 2024-2025 season. One of the big highlights has got to be Alexander Ovechkin chasing 895 goals, the Wayne Gretzky record that has not been touched by anybody yet. Alexander Ovechkin has that opportunity. Ali Ovechkin is one of the best goal scorers in the past 10, 20 years. Ovechkin lights the lamp better than any player in professional hockey right now. He's on the back end of his career. He has an opportunity to do something that has not been done, and that's dethrone Wayne Gretzky and all of the goals being scored. 895 is the goal. I think he needs 40 goals to do it this year. This is going to be interesting to watch and interesting to see. I'm looking forward to that, to seeing if he can do it. Also, Steve Stamkos, playing for the Nashville Predators. He was a 2-time champion with the Tampa Bay Lightning, signing a 4-year, $32 million contract to be with the Predators. He's a 16-year pro. He's been a mainstay with the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's going to be different seeing him in a different uniform this year. The Edmonton Oilers, last year's runner-up for Lord Stanley's Cup. And I'm not talking about that pink cup that everybody was looking and standing in line for. I'm talking about Lord Stanley's Cup, the greatest, the most beautifulest trophy in this world. Shout out to Keith Murray. My hip hop's better than yours. That cup is probably one of the greatest cups around. So, Steve Stamkos going to the Nashville Predators along with the Oilers, looking like they can go for the cup this year. It's cup or bust. Connor McDavid said that a few years back. Unfortunately, they fell short to the Florida Panthers, who will be defending the championship this year. See what they're going to be doing with Paul Maurice's crew there. But this is going to be an interesting year. Can the Oilers go back? Can the Florida Panthers defend the championship and go for back-to-back championships? We're also going to see a player retire this year, as Marc-Andre Fleury says that he's calling it quits after this year. A very decorated career as an NHL goalie. He was a 3-time Stanley Cup champion with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's currently on the Minnesota Wild. No, actually, he won one of those championships with the Las Vegas Golden Knights. So, yes, sorry about that. He's second all-time in wins behind Martin Brodeur. There are a lot of great goalies when I came up watching hockey, And Marc-Andre Fleury has cemented himself into being one of those goalies that's going to be talked about in this generation. Very great goalie, great career coming to an end. Looking forward to seeing Marc-Andre Fleury in his career on a high note. We also got the anticipation of number 1 overall pick Macklin Celebrini. He's been battling injury this year. He's going to be day-to-day with a lower back injury, I believe. But he did score his first goal this past week. So this is his quest for the Calder Trophy, as the San Jose Sharks look like they're going to be rebuilding and building around this young man as well, too. But one of the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest thing out of this week in hockey was the Utah Hockey Club winning 2 straight games. Their first 2 games they have won. They had an insane opening night. Lauri Markkanen dropping the puck for the ceremonial face-off, the inaugural game. And I'm not going to lie to you, even though they're called the Utah Hockey Club, it sounds bland as could be, but those jerseys are dope. I might have to nab one of those. NHL Shop was good. I might have to nab one of those. Now, I'm not ready to denounce my fandom for the Colorado Avalanche or losing my support for the Carolina Hurricanes, considering the fact that I'm inside the Carolinas. That's where I'm from. That's where I'm born. I like the Hurricanes. I love Rod Brind'Amour. I love that squad. I think they're going to battle back this year. Looking for them to try to get to that Stanley Cup. We're going to find out. But the Utah Hockey Club, they rocked a party. They had a packed house both games. They're ready for some hockey. RIP to the Arizona Coyotes. RIP to them. They have an opportunity. I believe they have 5 more years if they can get another stadium built. They could bring back the Arizona Coyotes. I don't know for sure, but the Utah Hockey Club looks like they are here to stay, and it's looking like fun. They're a fun squad. I enjoyed the games. The past 2 games I watched, very good to see. Good job, guys. But on a very melancholy note, this year, the lives of Matthew and Johnny Gaudreau will be celebrated. The Columbus Blue Jackets wearing the numbers on their helmets. Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau, unfortunately, were hit by a drunk driver in their hometown preparing for their sister's wedding. Very somber, very hurtful to start the season. It hurt that happened, but their memories will be carried on by the Columbus Blue Jackets organization and along with NHL fans everywhere. Rest in peace, Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. God bless you and your family. We're praying for you. We're praying for the fans. But this year looks like it's going to be a great year of hockey. I'm looking forward to it. I was happy that I got to talk hockey with my man, the Golden Brett Wiseman, MD DePrez, and Austin Summers on Out of Pocket around my birthday in June. I loved every bit of it. We had a great time talking it. Now we're going to see how the season's going to unfold. And these are your NHL quick hits for this week. As promised for this episode, I told you about a specific event that is near and dear to me that I get to cover. Unfortunately, I was going to do that on the episode that didn't happen so I can promote the fight so that everyone can come out and watch it. Since that episode didn't happen, I get to cover it and the outcome of the fight. And this fight is the title fight for the Bare Knuckle Fighting Champions Lightweight Championship, which pits Franco Tenaglia versus Tony Loco Soto in Marbella, Spain, in a bullfighting arena in Marbella. This is near and dear to me because Tony Soto was a guy that I met working in the prison system in North Carolina about 4 years ago. Soto's a heck of a guy. He's always been fun, a very funny guy, vibrant guy. He's been training insane for this. He tried out for the BKFC back in 2021. He made it. He was a local fighter in Hickory, that Conover area. He had 2 boxing fights, I believe. He's fought pro in boxing. He's fought in BJJ, MMA. He's done that. Soto is a training machine. But all in all, he's a heck of a dude and a great guy to work with. I was cheering Soto on. He was 6-0 in BKFC competition. Franco Tenaglia, the man that he's fighting, was an undefeated fighter as well, too. I believe he was 6-0. Tenaglia was he still is, the European bare knuckle fighting champion. He's from Buenos Aires, Argentina. He lives in Spain now as he trains for the championship fight that he had with Soto. And let me tell you, if you've never seen a BKFC fight, know one thing. It is very, very brutal. There's blood. There's a lot of bruising, a lot of swelling. It's not like your traditional boxing. The ideology is like that. They don't fight in a ring. They actually fight in something similar to what they fight in mixed martial arts. But all in all, action-packed fights. They're tough fights. They're very, very brutal fights. So if you watch it, that's the disclaimer. They even say it on the app that you can download and watch the fights, that this is not for the faint at heart. If you're squeamish, don't watch the fight, because there is blood. There's going to be bruising. It's going to be brutal. So with that being said, let's analyze this fight. The way the BKFC fighting is, they have 5 rounds for 2 minutes. And in this fight, Soto and Tenaglia fought probably one of the best fights in BKFC history. This was not me saying it, not because I'm a homer for Soto, but this was actually regarded as that by Conor McGregor, who was promoting this fight. The president of BKFC said the same thing. This is one of the best fights that they've had. This is definitely fight of the year. Hands down, the fans will say it. They both fighters got double purses. They got bonuses, but they got double purse as well, too, with how great this fight was. So let's break it down, shall we? Soto is the faster fighter. Watching the fight, Soto is the faster fighter. Tenaglia, he's a heavy-hitting fighter. He landed a lot of power shots in this fight. Soto was a consistent fighter. He stayed busy. And we'll break it down round for round. The first round, Tenaglia scored a knockdown with a powerful overhand with Soto. Soto felt the effects. Soto fell and he was knocked down. Didn't really bother him. So it was easy to see that Tenaglia won round 1. In round 2, Soto hit a devastating body shot to where Tenaglia fell. And there was a knockdown in that fight. Big body shot with the left hand. Soto is an ambidextrous fighter, but he's got more power in his left hand. So he was able to score the knockdown. In round 3, Tenaglia scored a second knockdown, but it wasn't a devastating knockdown like Soto's left hand. Both the fighters started to wear down in that fight. They got slower. They were a lot of shots, a lot of wind being knocked out of both of these guys. They were landing shots all day long. In round 4, Soto won on the cards. The way that I was looking at the fight, he won on the card. He won in the scorecards. He won on the scorecard is what he did, because he was able to stay busy. He landed more power shots. He was consistent with his jab. Tenaglia was able to fight back, but Soto counterpunched him very well. In round 5, Tenaglia stole the last 10 minutes of that fight, in my opinion. The last 10 to 20 minutes, he was able to paint a picture for the judges. He was able to paint a picture for them in the last 10, 20 minutes. But to me, Soto won the first part of that round 5. The way that I saw it, I figured the fight was either going to go to Soto or go to be a draw. There were talks about it being a draw. There were talks about it being being a rematch. I definitely want to see a rematch, if you want to be honest with you. But the fight went to the scorecards, and they handed the title to Franco Tenaglia on a majority decision, 45-47 by both judges, and Tenaglia won the title. Although I didn't like the outcome because I wanted Soto to win it, this fight was absolute cinema. If you by chance want to see the fight, go on to DAZN.com, which is DAZN.com. I believe that's how you say it. Or go to the BKFC app, download the app. You can watch the fight there. You have to pay a little bit of a fee for the BKFC app. And it'll give you an option to if you want it monthly or yearly. And for DAZN as well too, DAZN.com, you get boxing matches, you get fights there, but you can watch the fight from there. But I'll tell you what, it was a great fight, action-packed fight. Both these fighters had a lot of respect for each other. There was talk amongst the two. There was no disrespect between the two. Soto and Tenaglia embraced. I enjoyed this fight. It was a great fight, but it wasn't the way the fight didn't go the way that I wanted it. I wanted my good buddy Soto to win that title because he's worked so hard. He's worked his tail off. He's chasing his dream. He's doing something that a lot of people are afraid to do, and that's chase their dreams. And I'm very, very, very inspired by Soto and what he done. If Soto was a jerk, I would watch his fight. But Soto is a heck of a guy. He's very, very funny. We've had great talks. I've met his family. He's got a wonderful wife, 2 wonderful children, Cassidy and Charlotte. 2 wonderful children, his wife Lorraine, beautiful people. Met his family, got to celebrate wins with him in his previous fights. Got to work alongside of him in the prison system. He's a good brother. But hats off to Franco Tenaglia, who I became a fan of now. I'll watch him fight again. I'll watch him defend that title. Hopefully Soto and this young man have another fight. Hopefully they have the rematch. I'd like to see a rematch, honestly. So I'm very proud of my brother Soto. Great fight, Franco Tenaglia. And this is your quick hits for the combat sports. Now you're probably wondering, yo, Podcast Smitty, you didn't even finish the show. There's still more stuff for you to talk about. You said that you would talk about some other things, like the baseball, the football. What's going on? And then you're also probably wondering, hey, do you know what day it is? It's Tuesday, and you're dropping the show. Well, I'm going to answer both of those things with this one statement here. Yes, I'm aware it is Tuesday. Yes, I'm aware I did not finish up talking about all the other sports. I'm glad you observed all that. And here's why. When I was having my time off, my unexpected time off, I started thinking about sports Christmas, how it's began. We have a lot of sports going on right now. I know you're aware of that when you turn on your TV. I started thinking that myself when I did the show that was way too long. I wondered, how am I going to do this? And then I got an idea. I talked to the press, and he agreed that from now on, I will no longer be dropping quick hits on Wednesday. As much as I enjoyed sharing the stage with Wayne and Jason and Carson and also MD and mouthing off of Mike, it was smart for me to move to Tuesdays. So I'm doing my show on Tuesday. But that's not all. I'm also going to be continuing quick hits on Friday. So that means you get 2 cups of coffee with Podcast Smitty Tuesday at 9 o'clock and Friday at 9 o'clock. And that starts this week. So Wednesday, it was nice. It was wonderful. But I got to go. Because on Tuesdays now, I'm going to be on at 9 o'clock. This Friday, I'm going to be breaking down the WNBA Finals of Game 2. Breaking down the baseball. And of course, breaking down the football because college football and pro football is going absolute bananas right now. And I want to make sure that I set aside time for the football and some of the bleed over from the week. On Tuesdays, I'm going to be getting the bleed over from the weekend. On Fridays, sorry about that, I'll be getting the bleed over from the week. So that means more quick hits. That means we get to have more fun. That means we get to do more with sports Christmas going on right now. And I get to do a better job at bringing the sports to you and showing you why Podcast Smitty here is a fan of sport. I look forward to that. Thank you guys for your patience. Thank you for your time. As of right now until Friday, enjoy the sports. Enjoy your bleed over of Monday Night Football. Enjoy the wrestling. Enjoy the baseball. Enjoy the hockey. And then later on, enjoy the Thursday Night Football. And we'll be able to talk about some football on Friday and talk about more on Friday. So, guys, I'm not going to do my signature walkout. Instead, I'm going to do that on Friday. I'm going to be doing the introduction on Tuesday. And I'm going to be doing my signature walkout on Fridays from now on. So, guys, stay tuned for Friday on Quick Hits.
Can't fall off, now they holler he'll turn, thinking I'ma sell out, talking just to feel heard. I never listen, although they say it's strictly